Hello YouTube, this is Death with a deck video. This is for CyberKnight8610 Contest, making your own archetype. Mine is obviously the DC Dimensional Creatures set. The whole basis of this deck is pretty much removing your monsters, and then at the end phase switching them out for effects. So yeah, this is a DC Castle spell card, field spell card. What it does is, as long as it remains face up on the field, select 2 monster card zones on your side of the field. Those zones are now removed from play zones. Effects of the monsters can activate, and the monsters can be attacked and attack from these zones. If a DC monster is sent to the graveyard, if it is sent to the graveyard, it's removed from play instead. So I'm talking about like if it's in a normal card zone, it's sent to the graveyard, it can be put back onto the field as a remove from play, or it can just be removed. The card is good for this set because say there's one remove from play monster in one of the zones and one in the normal zone, you can switch between them. You can switch between them for their card effects. So that's that one. I've made like 10 cards just to show you the whole basis of this deck. DC Chorus, a level 2 tuner. These are all fiends, by the way. If this card will be sent to the graveyard, it is removed from play instead. If this card was special summoned from remove from play by a DC effect, you can destroy up to 2 spell and trap cards on the field. At the end phase, you can remove this card from play and special summon 1 DC monster from your remove from play, except for DC Chorus. So, yep, that's that card. So it's a great tuner for this set. Yeah. Next card. There's no real sorting between these. I just like pasted them on. DC Heshai, level 4, 18 attack, 200 defense. Sorry, Chorus is 1100 attack and 1000 defense. But yeah, his effect is once per turn you can special summon 2 DC monsters that are removed from play. If you do, those monsters are sent to the graveyard at main phase 2, so you would want to activate during main phase 1 to get those monsters. At the end phase, you can remove this card from play, special summon 1 DC monster from your remove from play. DC Loro, level 1. It's not a tuner. Probably would make it a tuner if I thought about it, but it was the first card I made. So, if this card will be special summoned by DC card effect from remove from play, you can remove from play 1 DC monster from your deck. At the end phase, you can switch it for a DC monster that are removed from play except for DC Loro. DC Knight Assassin, level 6 synchro. Needs 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner DC monster. This card cannot be special summoned, so once it's removed from the field, it's removed, cannot bring it back. When it's a synchro summon, remove from play 2 cards from your opponent controls. At the end phase, you can remove from play this card and special summon 2 DC monsters from remove from play. DC Overseer is level 8, 3200 attack and 27 defense. It can only be normal summon, set, and special summon if DC Castle is on the field and it is placed in a remove from play zone. This card is sent to the graveyard if this card will be sent to this card is sent to the graveyard if DC Castle is removed from the field for 3 turns. Once per turn, you can remove from play 1 monster your opponent controls and special summon 1 DC monster from your remove play. If this card will be destroyed by a result of battle, all remove from play DC monsters, including yourself, are sent to the graveyard, even if the castle is still in the field. Sorry about that brain fart there. You got DC Recall. It's a counter trap. Select 1 DC monster on the field and special summon 1 DC monster from remove from play. At the end phase, or the end of your end phase, special summon the selected monster back to the field and send the same DC monster you removed, or put it on the field and special summon it back and put it back to the remove from play. DC Warlock, level 6. Once per turn, you can special summon one DC monster from your hand, deck, graveyard, or remove from play that has 2000 attack or lower. It cannot be used for sync or material. Try and keep the cards balanced out, just like regular Yu-Gi-Oh cards. At the end phase, you can remove from play this card and special summon one DC monster you remove from play. It's 2500 attack and 18 defense. Journey to a different dimension. Remove from play 2 DC monsters with 2000 attack or lower and special summon one DC monster with 2000 attack or lower from your deck. You cannot remove from play any monsters during this turn. And Dimensional Rebirth. You can send 3 DC monsters from your graveyard back to the deck and draw 1 card. If you do, you cannot remove from play any DC monsters this turn. That's the archetype. Yeah, I personally would play this. I mean, obviously not real, so you can't, but yeah. So comment, rate, subscribe, and shout out for CyberKnight for the contest. See you later, YouTube.